Welcome back into Game Fanatics to another first look video. Honestly, I have reservations about putting this one on the channel. If it does make it on the channel, there's some very specific reasons for it. First off, let's talk about the game itself. Heartstrings is an adult visual novel, an erotic dating simulator, still in development. And in this game, you'll be a young man who moves to a new town because of family problems, and where he commits the goal of studying hard to get a scholarship. But life is full of surprises, and along the way, you'll meet unique and fascinating characters that will have a great impact on the story. All right. Now, I have been reached out to by the developer, Alien Cat Games, and asked to check out the game and provide some feedback, and then, if possible, make a video about it. I've been informed that all of the adult scenes are skippable in the game, and so with that being the case, as long as I can skip all of them, and we can focus on the quality of the adult visual novel, like just the visual novel, the storytelling, the mechanics within the game, then I will put this up on the channel. However, if we run into issues with the adult content, then I will likely not put it up on the channel. But I will still play the game and provide feedback to the developer because they reached out and asked me to. So why wouldn't I? But yeah, so that's some background information on Heartstring, as well as my thoughts about whether or not to put this on the channel. So let's dive right into it. There's a theory that proposes that the fundamental units of the universe are like vibrating fibers that generate particles and forces. In that sense, our lives would be like interwoven strings in a cosmic symphony. Each person would be a unique thread with their own story and pulse, but affected by others, creating a dance of melodies and rhythms in the tapestry of reality. I can kind of see where the name of the game, Heartstrings, now comes from. I like the concept already. We are all interlaced beings whose stories are woven with heartstrings. There it is. If you see me kind of like moving around a little bit more than usual, it's because it is currently January, and I'm intentionally freezing out my apartment in order to make my girlfriend more comfortable. She likes the cold. But allow me to introduce myself. My name is... You know what I'm doing. And this is the boy I once was. I was a rather ordinary teenager with nothing that made me stand out from the crowd. If you had known me back then, you might have said I was an average student with no notable appearance or physique. Even depending on who you asked, a bit of a nerd. One thing I want to go back and compliment real quick is that at the beginning there, the information provided before the title, Heartstrings, that info there was talking kind of like philosophically. The fact that the text stayed on the screen long enough, you'd be surprised how many developers don't pay attention to that detail, and I find myself having to speed read in order just to be able to read the text in time out loud that's portrayed on the screen for the early starting of the game. So I very much appreciate that. And I felt like it should be mentioned, because I know I've complained about it in other videos in the past. I was a bit of an everything, and at the same time a bit of a nothing. Or a bit of nothing. I was never the most popular in school, but I also wasn't a hellish in a hellish situation I desperately wanted to escape. However, life presented an unexpected twist that made me think and reconsider my future. It all started when my mother was diagnosed with a heart disease that required a transplant. As soon as I got this heart condition one, you know what this reminds me of? There's an old game that was actually made by 4chan called Katawa Shoujo. Fantastic visual novel from back in the day, where the main character has a heart condition and has to attend a special school for kids with medical disabilities. But yeah, anyways. It was a tough blow for the whole family, but fortunately we found a donor and my mother was able to recover with a new heart. However, the medical procedures, hospitalization, and subsequent treatment left our family in a financially precarious situation. Understandable. As a result, we were forced to sell our house in the big city and move to a small town to move forward. Yep. This situation also affected my older sister, who had to drop out of college due to our debts and move back in with us to save money and resume her studies the following year. Now that is an interesting family dynamic. Typically, that would imply that the parents were the ones forking over the college tuition and that she wasn't using student loans in order to attend college. If she was already well into college, then that probably would have been a better option. But, anyways. Those months were tough for all of us, but it was the end of summer and I was about to start my senior year in high school. Instead of letting myself sink under the stress of events, I decided to take control of my life and focus on getting top grades in all my subjects. If I could achieve good grades, I could get a scholarship to attend university and who knows, maybe even be admitted to some renowned institution. But this was not just an academic challenge, it also meant adapting to life in that small town, a completely different life from what I was used to. I feel that. As somebody who's moved around a lot when he was a kid, I went to 3 different elementary schools, 2 different middle schools, and then when I got to high school I said, enough. I'm not going through another, 3-year period where I go to multiple different schools. At first I felt overwhelmed by the tranquility and simplicity of the place, being accustomed to the big city. But I also had no idea of the new emotions, experiences, challenges, and moments that life had in store for me that school year. It was at that moment in the yard of my new house, carrying that box, that I began to understand that maybe that place wasn't so bad after all. Now keep in mind, guys, I'm running this on low graphics. The game does have higher graphics settings, so if you're like, it doesn't look all that great, keep in mind, it's low graphics. It looks fine to me. It's a, indie dev project. We don't give a shit that much about graphics. Hello. Hello, kid. Good afternoon. Teresa Stone. Are you the new neighbor? We're still settling in. Yes, we just arrived. You live around here? That's right. We're your next door neighbors. I'm Teresa, and this is my daughter, Alice. Alice was a girl with green eyes and shoulder-length red hair, undoubtedly inherited from her mother, who wore lightweight clothing to enjoy the summer breeze. It consisted of a loose-fitting tank top that relaxedly hugged her figure, baring her arms and accentuating her youthful essence. I don't know if I like that phrase, because this is the mind of, like, a teenage boy. It's like swatting poetics. She also wore short jeans that showcased her legs and added a casual touch to her outfit. That wasn't so bad. Hi, welcome to the neighborhood. I vividly remember how my heart started pounding when I saw her approaching their mother, but the sweetness with which she uttered those words left me breathless. From the moment I saw her, I must admit I found her absolutely beautiful. However, what caught my attention the most was her smile, so radiant and contagious, and emitted a vibrant energy that illuminated everything around her. You are very kind. Your accent sounds local. You come from near here? So we don't come from far away. We just drive from Harborland. It's a big change. How was your trip? Bit tiring. I spent it sleeping. Got lost a couple of times. I was gonna say I spent it sleeping. Oh, they didn't like that answer, I guess. Hi there. How are you doing? Sorry we didn't come out sooner. We were just tidying up a few things. Not a problem. So good to see another family moving into our street. My name's Teresa, and this is my daughter, Alice. Pleasure to meet you. I'm Rose, the mother of these two youngsters. As you already know, he's the little one, and this is my daughter, Charlotte. Now going to high school. Yes, he's in his senior year. It's wonderful. My Alice is too. Maybe we'll be in class together. Oof, so he moved to senior year of high school. That's rough. I'm sure they'll become friends. How do you like the town? So I like that there is visual representations based off of your choices. I don't know much about the pros and cons of, like, you know, choosing bad options if there's a different kind of story to it, or if it's just that you can't progress until you hit certain scores, or what it is yet, but we shall see. Well, we haven't been able to see much yet, but it seems quiet and beautiful. It's an important change from the noise and stress of the city. Have you been living here for a long time? Yes, all life. It's a very welcoming town. The people here are very friendly, and there is everything you need. We have a movie theater, a gym, an arcade, bars, a bowling alley, maybe? Alien cat. A bowling is, I would assume a bowling alley is what's meant to be there. And a spa. Not to mention that we live surrounded by the Silver Lake Nature Park. And in the summer, we have a local fair. That sounds delightful. We can't wait to get to explore a bit of what is going to be our new home. Well, we'll leave you to it, as I'm sure you have a lot to do. It's a pleasure to meet you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. We're here to help you. Thank you for making us feel at home. See you soon, yes? Yes, of course. See you later. Alright. I like our new neighborhood. Seems to be a close-knit community. That's what I like about small towns. Everybody knows everybody. It's definitely a change. House is perfect for us. I'm excited to decorate it. Sure, that sounds fun. I don't think there's not much left to unload everything. There's a text here that should be corrected. Do you want me to make a lemonade? It would just be want me to make lemonade, not a lemonade. Good idea. We need to refresh after so much work. When you finish unloading everything, tell your father to return the trailer back. Okay. Must have rented a U-Haul. We finally managed to complete the entire move. I felt exhausted since I hadn't had time to unpack my belongings from the boxes yet. At that very moment, my sister came to find me to see how I was doing. Knock knock. Hey here. I think that means it's supposed to be hey there. What's up? I'll say hey there. Mom wants to know what you want for dinner. Let's not cook. I don't care. I'm not even hungry. Let's not cook. Good idea. We can order some pizza. Are you nervous for your first day at new school tomorrow? Frankly, I'm excited. I need it to go well and get good grades because of the scholarship. I'm sure you'll get it. Believe in your little brother. Just to be yourself and everything will fall into place. Very supportive sister. How are you? Upset that he had to drop out of college because of Mom's illness. Not really, it was just a bad period for our family. Things will be okay. I earn enough in my new job, and I can go back to college next year with what I'm saving. You're always so sure of yourself that you make everything seem so easy. Look who's talking, Mr. Scholarship, says he feels envious of my optimism. The secret. It's not that hard to make it look like things are going well. Inside, I'm a mess. It's just a matter of how you present yourself. But don't tell anyone my secret, or everyone will know I'm a fraud. Haha. Somehow my sister had a knack for sensing when something was bothering me, and she always knew the right words to say to lift my spirits. Come on, let's go help Mom with dinner and then watch TV for a while. We can unpack later. Okay, I'll be there in a moment. Let me quickly unpack a few boxes first, and then I'll come down. Well, I'll unpack something, put it in its place, and go down for dinner. Computer boxes, or suitcase. Let's unpack the suitcase. Woke up early the next morning. The sun rays illuminated my room. Yeah, because you don't have shades. The day was beginning, and with it, my first day at my new high school, in what was to be the last year before college. There was so much at stake that I was overcome with a feeling that mixed motivation with nervousness and fear of what I was going to find. Alright, so what do we got for options here? A hide interface, skip text, auto advanced text, log, save, settings, back to movement. Okay. After waking up, I dressed up in clean clothes and went down to the kitchen to prepare a quick breakfast. There I found my mother, who had prepared breakfast for me, and also my father, who was sitting reading the newspaper while he drank coffee. I'll be right back. I need to get a blanket. Should help. My feet were getting too cold, and with my legs. So, first appearance of the father. Liam. Good morning, Renault. Just by entering the kitchen, I could feel the imposing presence of my father in the air. As a father should be. He was a serious and distant man who spent most of his time working from home or traveling on business. He often seemed more interested in his work than in my life, but always made it clear that he expected me to fulfill my responsibilities as a student. I always knew that my father loved my mother deeply, even though he hid it behind a mask of coldness. He had been by her side in the hospital during the whole process, never showing his own emotions in public. I could see the love and concern in his eyes every time he looked at her, and that made me respect him more than ever. Good morning. Eat your favorite breakfast. I want you to start your day with energy. Thank you. Can't believe you're starting your senior year of high school. My little boy, it feels like yesterday when you started kindergarten. And now look at you, all grown up, little man. I couldn't help but feel a mix of emotion and sadness. Over the past few years, Mom had fought against her illness with a strength and determination that left me breathless. But her heart problems had left their mark on her. Although her skin was pale and her body was thinner than ever, she still had a beauty that was impressive to me. Her eyes shone with a special light, and if the struggle against the illness had given her a new perspective on life. Despite her frailty, my mother externalized a robust resilience, a source of strength and wisdom that inspired and guided me on my path to adulthood. I felt a deep love and gratitude towards her, and a renewed commitment to make the last year of high school worthwhile in honor of everything she had overcome. There'll be lots of new friends, new experiences, and new challenges. Yes, it's sure to be a great year. I must go quickly or I'll be late. Wait, you forgot lunch. I made you a sandwich. I also have a gift for you. The cell phone. Nice. No way, really? Oh, you can afford it? I know. But we are in a new home where we don't know anyone. And now you're a senior in high school. I want you to be able to communicate with your friends easily. Nowadays, every kid has one of these, so... Love the gift. It's time for you to go. Don't keep your new teachers and friends waiting. Thanks, Dad. You too. Alright. Fresh morning breeze heralding the last days of summer hit me in the face as I stepped out onto the street. I hopped on my bike and started pedaling in the direction of the high school. Riding that route, which I would ride so many times during that year for the first time. I finally arrived after about 30 minutes. It was a building with a large entrance that seemed to contain dozens of stories of past generations within its worn bricks. Although dawn had long broken, shadows still clung to the corners of the building. The large polished metal letters on the door announced the name of the high school, and the air was charged with excitement and anxiety. The school buses lined up in front of the building, a chorus of rumbling engines and squeaky brakes. The students, with their backpacks slung over their shoulders and folders under their arms, grouped in small circles, chatting and laughing, reuniting with friends and classmates after the long summer break. Some parents were also present, saying goodbye to their children with hugs and words of encouragement. The metallic sound of my bicycle chain echoed in the air as I parked it next to the entrance of the building. Then someone spoke behind me. You should lock that. An attractive middle-aged woman who had just come from the front door of the building. She wore a pencil skirt and a white shirt that made her look like an elegant office lady from an important company. Probably a school secretary or something. Math teacher, there we go. It was Masson Taylor, the math teacher, my class tutor. It's a nice bike. You must be the new student. I'm Miss Taylor, your tutor. Masson smiled and she was a very friendly person. I liked her immediately. Does this small town have a problem with thieves? Is that what she meant by he should lock the bike? You know where your class is? Do you know where to go? No, not really. Don't worry, you're in good hands. This is your first day, so I need to sign your name in the register, and then I'll introduce you to everyone. I can't have you getting lost on your first day. Unfortunately, I have an emergency in the principal's office. Just a second. Michael, come here. Michael was a nondescript-looking boy with short, curly brown hair that framed his pale face. He was nondescript, then what is this? That's a description. You could tell it was at a glance that he was shy and reserved, an easy target for bullies, so he always kept himself in the background and avoided any unwanted attention. He walked with his head down, avoiding eye contact, and as if trying to disappear. He seemed to have an air of negativity constantly surrounding him. His main goal in life was to go unnoticed and finish high school as soon as possible. Michael, why don't you show Renault around the school? Give him a quick tour and take him to class. Would you be so kind? If there's no other choice. No, there is not. Wow. Miss Taylor. It's a bossy one. I'll see you both in classroom when the bell rings. Anyway, follow me and don't stop. I don't want you to get lost and have to look for you. Oh, I'm gonna stop over there. Thank you for showing me the school. Yeah, sure. This is the main entrance. It's not a big deal. Not much different than any other high school you've been to. Here, too, superficiality is valued over authenticity and honesty. Sounds about right for high school. Speaking of superficiality, there you have the cheerleaders and the basketball team members. Don't look at them too much. You better not deal with them if you don't want them to make your life hell. What was that? That's right. Every high school has a group of these. On the outside, they're model students, very popular. Inside, they're rotten and will not hesitate to make you feel insignificant. It's almost like a second sport for them. That group over there is the debate club. They're always yelling and fighting over unimportant issues and thinking they're superior to everyone else. Well, I guess it's a way of expressing your opinions and defending your ideas. Yes, of course. And also from annoying and offending others. Wait, I know that girl. It's Alice Stone. Hey, Renault. Great. Now she's seen us. How you doing? Have you made friends with Michael already? Friends? I was forced into this. Miss Taylor asked him. Are you planning to join an after-school activity? There's room in the debate club. Tell me more about it. Damn. Hi, baby. How are you? Zeke Smith just ran up, grabbed her from behind. I don't know why I was surprised. A girl like Alice clearly had a boyfriend, but I was even more surprised that I cared. Okay, she was a very pretty girl, but I had just met her. How was it possible that it affected me? Looks like it's might be... No, okay, it's not clipping. I thought this went all the way over, but I guess not. Hey, what's up, buddy? Alice is trying to get you to join the debate club, right? Better come join us on the basketball team. You could always use another player, and you look like you have a physical potential. I'd prefer the debate club. Haven't decided yet, but I would prefer the debate club. Interesting. You could go the jock route in this game? I'm sure in a week you'll come asking us to get you out of there. Don't talk about the debate club like that, Jake. You know it's important to me. You know I'm kidding. I'll see you after school, right? Sure. That's an example of a toxic relationship right there, where he doesn't give a shit and talks crap about the things that she enjoys. Or that are important to her. Guys, I have to do something before class. I'll meet you there, okay? I noticed how you were looking at her. Don't even think about trying to or anything, or Jake and his gang will turn you into minced meat. I think there's a misunderstanding. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, sure. We'll put that quote on your tombstone. And you have also declined his kind invitation to join his brainless muscleman club. You're not off to a good start, so watch out. Alright, cafeteria, second main hall. Like we have to go in order. This is the math class. We will end our visit here. Let's move on to the science class. And there you have the science club too. Hope you don't know anyone there, so we don't get stopped. Make no mistake, they are good people, but I will never understand the need they have to join a club that puts a target on their back. It's another space to socialize. Suppose they need to be together so they don't feel lonely. I also like science. Well, another space to socialize and share common interests. Yep, that's how that works. Alright, so it does look like there's an energy bar, a mood bar, as well as money. You've got the cell phone with apps on it, phone book, SMS, calendar, grades, school schedule, stats, gallery, camera, and options. All right, pretty typical of visual novels. And then you've got a city map. You've got the date, the year 2000, and the time of day, 7:52 a.m. Socializing with guys who debate whether midichlorians can really measured. That's not science, that's sci-fi. That's Star Wars, come on. They'll probably choose you as the prom king for sure. Let's look at some of the classrooms. Men's bathroom, upstairs, women's bathroom. I could go in the women's bathroom. In this hallway, we have socials and literature classrooms. Okay. Don't get lost. Let's go along this hallway. Which way? Okay, behind me. There's literature. This is the main hall on the second floor. Okay. So it looks like at each ends of the buildings there's stairwells, and then there's one in the middle. This is the library. You know what a library is, don't you? Well, it's the same as everywhere else. Anywhere else. Come here when you need a book or a nap. Okay, back out. Down this way. Before we go any further, let's go into that room. I'll show you the journalism club. Ah, there's his hobby. This is where the journalism club meets. They think they're investigative journalists just because they carry a pen and notebook. Okay, I guess that's not his thing. I'm guessing he's probably a loner. But the reality is that they're just nosy busybodies, but he probably becomes a friend. They're like a reality journalism show, but without a script and with a $2 budget. They put out a school magazine every term. Try not to do anything noteworthy, or they will put you in it. Got a dark room back there. That's cool. How do I... There we go. Side of the screen's out. Audiovisual club. This room is reserved for the audiovisual club. The truth is that I have no idea what they do here. Knowing Summer, film a flower growing for hours in a sequence shot, with classical music in the background, and she'll say it's a metaphor for the alienation of human beings in modern society and blah blah blah. Summer Mackenzie. I'm here, Michael. I heard you. Whoops. Next classroom, run. Teacher's office. How further down? Other end of the building. Okay, so there's bathrooms on both sides. Gym hallway. And here, my dear friend, is where gravity comes to mock our poor souls. It is the sanctuary of jocks, so watch out. But if you like to sweat like a pig and smell a mixture of bleach and rancid body odor for hours, this is the place for you. Okay, how do I... That way. Cafeteria is connected to the gym? Well, this is where food and your digestive system come to die. If you've ever wanted to try a sandwich that tastes like seasoned cardboard, you're in luck. Don't worry about calories. The taste is so bad you'll probably throw them up anyway. Let's go through that door at the end. Theater hallway. To your left you have the music room, where you can learn to play an instrument or sing if you like to make a fool of yourself. Who is she? That's Violet over there. She's the Queen of Darkness, always in her own dark world. That guitar is her staff. She never leaves it. At least she has good taste in music, unlike some of the clowns that come in here to play anything with strings. That was the first time I saw Violet. She was alone in the music classroom, practicing chords with the guitar unplugged. Pale-skinned, her gothic look highlighted her unique beauty. Her black hair with violet highlights and dark makeup further accentuated her fine, delicate features. As she played the guitar, her expression seemed distant and sad, as if she were lost in her deepest thoughts. Alright, 1 second. I saw a message. Okay, nothing important. It was as if her music was a window into her soul, which was filled with pain and longing. Watching her, I felt a mixture of admiration for her skill and sadness for the melancholy that seemed to accompany her. Let's get out of here. If she sees us watching her through the glass, she'll kick our asses. Here is the art class. If you join the art club, you can come and stain your clothes and waste school supplies. Also, it's the second best place in the school to take a nap after the library. If you're one of those who don't move while sleeping, no one will notice the difference between you and a work of art. A nice piece of work. Hey, kitty. Big scratch. Scratch the butt. Alright, theater hallway. Theater. And finally, here we have the auditorium or theater. I don't know what to call it. This is where the drama club meets. They have an incredible talent for making the audience run out of the room for fresh air. I suggest you avoid them. They think they are the kings of drama and humor. Just in time. Well, there we have the ring bell from hell. The call to our souls to be dragged into the most supreme boredom. We must hurry back to math class if we don't want to miss out on so much fun. I like his sarcasm, Michael. Fun character to read. Oh, we have arrived on time. With your permission, we've already spent too much time together, and we've been seen all over the school. I've exposed myself too much with you. I still don't know if you're toxic or not. I don't want to take any more unnecessary risks by being associated with you. No offense. What did you think of our school? It's a pretty good school. It's bigger than it looks, and you have a lot of clubs. Right? I don't know what your previous school would be like, but I'm sure you'll fit in great here. There's Miss Taylor. Let's take our seat. Good morning, class. Renaud, would you mind coming here for a moment? Class, I want you to meet Renaud. He will be the newest student at our school. His family recently arrived in town. You want to tell me about you, Renaud? I'm Renaud. Just moved here from Harborland, so I'm new to the town and to this school. I hope to have an opportunity to get to know you all and learn together in our last year before college. Alright, so we got extracurricular activities in the morning. And that's a mix between math, socials, gym, and science and literature. So 5 different subjects. Lunch is always between 12 and 1. Okay. Not a complicated schedule. But we can't say that the people of Silver Lake are not hospitable. The only thing I don't care for is that it's not a consistent schedule. Yeah, like it's just randomized. But it's 3 of each type of class. So it's evenly spread as far as the classes. But I'm not sure I understand the logic behind the randomization of what the classes are in order each day. The only thing I can think of is that maybe it's an intentional thing for retention. That way, you know, they get a chance to, if you're not a morning person, then you can learn a little bit better in the afternoon class, I guess. So I can't say that the people are not hospitable. I read that. Okay, guys, as every year, remember to join an after-school club. Yes, I know it's not mandatory, but it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Everything you learn will serve you well in the future. It's also a great way to make friends and create bonds that you'll remember for a lifetime. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm older and wiser than you. This is a significant year for all of you. It's your last year in high school. The final chapter is about to be written. Okay, it's our first day, so we'll do an intro class. So what I noticed is at least 3 different distinct females in the school that I'm guessing you have an opportunity to be romantic with. There was the journalism club girl. There's Alice, and then there's the one in music club. Like it starts with a V. We'll refresh those mathematical concepts that will serve as the foundation for what we'll learn this year. Don't worry, it'll be an enjoyable but essential review. How do I approach the class? Did my best, I paid attention, I didn't pay attention. I always do my best. I'm paying attention. I'm guessing that changes the amount of energy that you use based off of doing that. First math class of the course with a sense of satisfaction. I was new to the school, but I had made an effort to keep up and participate in the class. Assuming if I slacked off, my energy or my mood would be higher than where it went down to after that first class. When the bell rang, I gathered my things and prepared to leave class, but the teacher called my name. You come here for a moment. How was the class? Good. Very glad. I see that you have a good foundation. That's great. Don't be confident. This year, we're going to learn new and more complicated things. The important thing is that you practice a lot and ask me any questions you have. I'm here to help you. Thank you, teacher. Come with me. I'll accompany you to your locker so you know where it is, and I'll give you the combination. I actually have the combination. I'm guessing the principal gave it to her this morning. But where is my locker located? Okay, it's in the left hallway. I know Michael well enough to know that he didn't show you this hallway. Just know this is the main office. If you have any academic or paperwork problems, come by and have them taken care of it. Let's move on. I might have read that wrong. Teacher's office, teacher's office. This is where all the teachers have their offices. Following closely behind her, I noticed her. I liked the way she moved, gracefully and confident, and how she looked at you, interested in whatever you had to say. Oh, so maybe the math teacher is also a romance character? It was the first time I'd ever dealt with such a close and friendly teacher. She was very natural, making you feel comfortable and listened to. I think there might need to be an at there. She was very natural at making you feel comfortable and listened to. As if she really cared about you beyond the academic and professional. I want to be perfectly clear, guys. I am not very skilled at the English language myself. The only reason I mention these things where I find sentences odd or needing possible corrections in the wording is to have the developer just double check to see if that actually is an issue or not. I'm not going to pretend like I know exactly what I'm talking about, but those sorts of things typically stand out to me because I do read a lot. So when sentence structures, when I'm reading, seem strange, I have an ability to recognize it and correct it easily. Now, don't ask me how to spell anything, though. This fact contrasted with the serious consonants she used to keep all the time. Consonants, come on. That's a tough word. Her vocation for teaching and for her students was so palpable that it was almost as if you could physically feel it. I wondered if she had a boyfriend or husband, someone waiting for her at home. Here it is, combinations 15930. Don't forget that. You repeat it, 15930. I turned the lock, found the combination, pulled the door. It opened with a click. I had such a hard time in high school, where it was the only place I ever had a school locker, remembering the combination. Ugh. Inside was an empty shelf. Open, done, ... Open, perfect. Well, this is your locker. Here you can keep your books and personal things. Just remember to change the combination and lock it securely when you leave. Thank you for your help. You're welcome. Well, I have to go. I have another class. See you tomorrow. Don't be late for your next class. After closing the locker, I remembered the cell phone my mother had given to me. It was my first cell phone. I was very excited to get it for the first time, but I also couldn't help but feel bad. Truck just drove by. They're doing lawn work, it looks like, because there was trees in the back of the truck. It was my first cell phone. I was very excited to get it for the first time, but I also couldn't help feel bad about accepting it. I knew my parents had gone to a lot of effort to buy it for me, and we were struggling financially because of the medical bills for my mother's operation. I pulled out my cell phone and turned it on for the first time. I'd been using it already. Alright, this content is not accessible because it's under development. Consider joining the Patreon and keep working on the game. Thank you. Alright, so you can't check on your grades yet. Put my cell phone in my pocket. I had to go to socials class. That started at 10 o'clock. Oh boy, I going. Main hall. Alright, other side of the hallway. Socials. When I arrived in the classroom, it was quiet. Even though there was already several students, no one was talking. Miss Holloway, the social studies teacher, was sitting at her desk looking at the incoming students. Her expression was stern and authoritative. I wonder why nobody's talking. Oh, I guess I was supposed to introduce myself. Instead of going up and introducing myself, I decided to go straight to the first empty seat I saw. I could feel her eyes fall on me as I made my way to my desk, but I kept my gaze down and avoided eye contact. The other students remained silent, glancing at me curiously. After all, I was the newest student in the school. I slid into the chair, took out my notebook, and tried to blend in as best I could. Am I not with the same kids in these classes on this schedule? A few minutes of waiting, and with a sickly punctuality, the teacher got up and began to teach the class not 1 second after 10 o'clock. This is your last year before college, so it's going to be tough. I do this to prepare you for that new phase in your life. You're no longer children. So I not tolerate any lack of respect, attention, or discipline. If you want to pass, you'll have to work and obey me in everything. Is that clear? After that, she took the textbook and began to explain the lesson. She spoke in a monotonous and boring voice and just read the notes in the book, which were long and tedious. It was the first class and the first minutes of the subject of this new year, and it had already become an ordeal. Every time a student made a mistake or was distracted, she scolded them severely and only asked questions to embarrass those who did not know the answer. I felt like a prisoner guarded by a jailer. What year was the French Revolution? Don't know. In your previous school, they didn't teach you anything? Or are you just stupid? I could see, like, I can't make the voice, but I can hear the voice of her in my head. No, are you? No, I'm not. Well, you look like. Answer is 1789. Write it down so you don't forget. And stop daydreaming. Come here to learn, not to waste time. Shut up and wrote down the date. The rest of the class, I kept my head down, feeling the enormous rage and infinite shame. How did I paid attention. Took notes without overexerting myself. Yeah, see, it didn't go down a full bar this time. It only went down most of a bar. After the horrendous class, we had 1 free hour to go to lunch. I remember that you can access the cafeteria from the main hall downstairs. Yeah, it's front door. Face burning. Hello! But just as I was leaving class, I ran into a girl who smiled kindly at me. Zoe Green. Hey, don't hold it against her. I had seen her in the classroom, sitting in the front row, answering the teacher's questions with ease. Her voice sounded confident as she answered the questions, but I wasn't able to fully appreciate her at the time. Black girl with chocolate tone that highlighted her attractiveness. Her black hair, curly and frizzy, formed small ringlets that escaped her control and barely brushed her shoulders. Her eyes, a deep shade of brown, shone with a light of their own and had a feline piercing shape that revealed her sharpness and wit. Her lips, thick and voluptuous, were a constant temptation. When I had her in front of me and could fully appreciate her, I was impressed by her curvaceous body, which showed up with her form-fitting clothes. Okay. Showed off, maybe, with her form-fitting clothes, instead of showed up. A silhouette of generous breasts and wide hips, which exalted her hourglass figure and femininity. I have to admit, I get a little bit taken out of this when I'm reading these descriptive parts, because it feels more like maybe the MC is telling me this story from maybe in the distant future. Like he's looking back on it and saying like, hey, waxing eloquently about the girls as he met them, not his thoughts in the moment, because this seems very unusual for a high school boy to think in this manner. Just the way the wording's done. It's the description of the characters that I find odd. Everything else, very enjoyable so far. Dressed simply but tastefully, a sleeveless jacket over a white t-shirt and blue jeans, which fit her like a glove. I couldn't explain why. Maybe it was the eyes that gave her away, but I could sense a chronic tiredness in her, something that exhausted and wouldn't let her rest. A weight that weighed down her spirit. She doesn't like anyone to talk or move. Is always yelling and punishing students. She's like that to everyone. Oh, sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I'm Zoe Green, and I'm the president of the student council. So if you have any complaints, feel free to talk to me. Haha. You must be the new kid, right? I am freezing. We just arrived in town yesterday from Harborland. Harborland, I've never been there. I'd love to visit someday. It must be an amazing city. So with so many buildings, museums, parks. Yes, it is. Upon admitting it and momentarily remembering my old house, a slight pang of nostalgia ran through me. It's lunchtime and I guess you're hungry. Would you like me to walk you to the cafeteria? I can introduce you to some friends. I'd like that. Am I supposed to be waiting for the auto-saving? Uh-oh. I might have run into a bug. Oh, no, there we go. That was just a very long auto-save. I entered the cafeteria with Zoe. It was lunchtime and the place was full of people. The smell of freshly made food mingled with what the students brought from home, sodas and sweets. The incessant sound of plates, cutlery, laughter, and conversations could be heard in the background, invading the place and making it come alive. I was the kind of person who'd go sit in the corner, read a book, or would go outside if I could, because it's too noisy in cafeterias. As I looked around, it seemed as if she was looking for someone she might recognize. Finally, with an aha, she fixed her eyes on a table where a boy and a girl were seated and asked me to follow her. Clark, Summer, hi. I think we met Summer before. Yes, isn't she the journalist club? Good to see you. How was your not the journalist one. She was in the audiovisual club room. Pretty fun. My parents took me to the Colorado Canyon and I was able to get some very impressive shots. How about you? I'm sure you spent all summer studying. Well, everyone does what they like, right? I want to introduce you guys to the new guy. He's just moved here. This is Renault. Summer and Clark. Alright. I'm getting this here. My contacts are starting to irritate my eyes for some reason. From looking at the screen for too long a period of time right now. I am going to continue playing this, but yeah. It's an okay visual novel so far. I think there's definitely some errors with a couple of wordings here and there, and I think the descriptions of characters could be written differently to convey your MC's perspective better. It feels like it was written by like a 60-year-old college professor instead of like a teenage boy talking about the girls he's looking at kind of thing. I feel like that could be better done, but outside of that, definitely enjoyable so far. Yeah, if you want to check out the game, I'm not going to be linking to where you can find the game. Hope the developer doesn't mind that, but with it being an adult visual novel, I don't want to have a direct link to their page. But if you look up Heartstrings on Google, look for visual novel Heartstrings, I'm sure you'll find it, guys. It's not that hard to find. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Hope you all have a good one, and I will see you again next time.